In the annals of military history, there has never been a commander quite like him. An undefeated warrior, a tactical genius whose very name struck fear into the hearts of empires. He was known as the Sword of Allah.
This is the story of Khalid bin Waleed.
But his story begins not as a hero of Islam, but as its most formidable enemy. At the Battle of Uhud, when the Muslims were on the verge of a decisive victory,
a single, brilliant maneuver turned the tide against them.
The Muslim archers, in their eagerness, left their strategic post, and one man saw this fatal error. Khalid ibn al-Walid, then a commander of the Quraysh cavalry, led his horsemen in a devastating charge from the rear. The Muslim ranks fell into disarray. It was his strategic mind that snatched victory from the Muslims and handed them a painful lesson. Witnessing this brilliance from afar, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, did not curse Khalid. Instead, he made a heartfelt prayer saying, "O Allah, guide Khalid. How magnificent a commander would he be if he were on our side." For 6 years, Khalid remained a distant, powerful threat, but seeds of doubt had been planted in his heart. He began to question the idols of his ancestors. He heard the beautiful verses of the Quran and saw the unwavering faith of the Muslims he had once fought. The truth was becoming clear to him. He could no longer fight against it. So he set out for Medina, not with an army, but with a humble heart, seeking the truth. When he stood before the Prophet in Medina and uttered the words of the Shahada, the entire Muslim community was in awe. The great Khalid ibn al-Walid was now one of them. The Prophet, peace be upon him, welcomed him with open arms and gave him the title that would define his legacy. He named him the Sword of Allah. The enemy had become a legend, and his legend was soon to be tested in fire. At the Battle of Mu'tah, the Muslim army, outnumbered 10 to 1 by the Byzantine Empire, watched in horror as their leaders, one after another, were martyred. The standard of Islam fell and chaos loomed. In this moment of despair, Khalid ibn al-Walid took command. He reorganized the crumbling army, shifting regiments and changing battle flags to create the illusion of fresh reinforcements. He launched a series of controlled, ferocious attacks, not to win, but to survive. His brilliant tactical withdrawal saved the entire Muslim army from annihilation. It was a defeat that felt like a victory, all because of one man's genius. Then came the conquest of Mecca. Khalid, once its defender, now led one of the Muslim columns into the city. His conversion was complete, but the battles did not end. In the wars against the apostate tribes after the Prophet's passing, Khalid's sword was the pillar of the Muslim state. He moved with lightning speed across Arabia, his very reputation often causing armies to surrender without a fight. They knew they could not defeat the Sword of Allah. He faced the mighty Persian Empire at the Battle of Walaja. Surrounded and outnumbered, he used a masterful double envelopment tactic, destroying a much larger force. He conquered the great city of Damascus through a shrewd and merciful siege. In every battle, his strategy was flawless, his courage unmatched. He fought over 100 battles, big and small, and never knew the taste of defeat. But this great warrior had a humble heart. He never sought fame or riches. He fought only for Allah. And when the Caliph Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, relieved him of high command for the sake of the Ummah's unity, Khalid, the undefeated general, accepted the decision without a word of complaint. He continued to fight as a common soldier, proving his obedience was to Allah, not to a position. At the end of his life, on his deathbed, this man who had faced death in countless battles began to cry. Those around him were astonished. They asked, "Why do you cry, O Sword of Allah?" Khalid replied, "I have sought martyrdom in every battle, yet here I am, dying on my bed like an old camel. I have scars all over my body, from the tip of my head to my feet, yet I die in my bed. Let the cowards die in their beds." His only regret was that he was not martyred on the battlefield. The greatest military mind in history died not by a sword, but by a fever. and as he passed, the sword of Allah was returned to its scabbard, leaving behind a legacy of unmatched victory, unwavering faith, and profound humility. A legacy that echoes through time, reminding us that true strength lies in submission to the one God.